Hey there YouTube, thanks for tuning in to another Starcraft 2 broadcast. My name is Anaris, and today we're here watching a 1 versus 1 on the map Backwater Gulch between Protoss player down here, the red, let's see if I get the name right, MICROORGANISM. I think I got that right. It stands for apparently for MICROORGANISM, and his blue Terran opponent is going to be Gamja Kang. Potato crackers, I guess is what that stands for. So we have the MICROORGANISM versus the potato crackers. That sounds like a rivalry from the show MXC. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Most Extreme Challenge. It's originally a Japanese show called, I think, Takeshi's Castle. And it basically has these two teams doing these ridiculous challenge courses. And they took the show and dubbed it over in English and kind of put jokes in and kind of imitated what you would think they're saying. It's a hilarious show. And anyways, I was going to say, these two players, it sounds like the teams that would be fighting in one of the episodes. So just so that way I don't sound like a complete idiot, I'm going to put a link to the video, what I'm talking about, at the end of the show, so you'll see it and you can see what I'm talking about. I guarantee you, you will not regret watching that video. But for now, let's look at the players down here. The Protoss going ahead, building the base, not going to have any sort of proxy cheese or anything like that. Dropping the gas there as well, heading out to scout, pretty standard overall, and the timings for that. And Terran up here, dropping the barracks depot at the top of the ramp. Sometimes you'll see him build a little bit back, sometimes you'll see him build up here, it kind of all depends. This is not a map that I like to build. If I have this position, I don't like to build up here, especially against Protoss or Terran. Siege tanks, Colossi, unless you got some tanks right here, you know, they can kind of pick off your defenses. And with this chasm right here, this is actually interesting. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Zelnaga Caverns. The expansion, alright, you see it's immediately accessible down the ramp. But there are 3 different entry points. Same thing down here for the Protoss player. You see the ramp kind of forms actually a partial choke right there. And third entrance is accessible by destroying that set of rocks. Now the third base for each player, one right here, you can see it's a little bit more exposed. It's out towards the middle of the map. And there is a little area that's overlooking it actually. 2 different ramp entry points. I like that a lot. That's a nice little terrain feature. Now look at this barracks floating down here. Already we have something a little crazy going on. You can see he's not throwing an add-on or anything. He's just going ahead with the Marines. Now I think this is actually a pretty interesting move because it's going to indicate some kind of early pressure. The fact that he was able to deny scouting, rather, for the Protoss, you could see all he came up there and saw was just the Marine didn't pop up here to see the barracks or anything like that. So having the second barracks away it's going to help hide the fact that he could be doing some kind of early play, like I said a minute ago. 3 Marines heading out. Oh, it looks like Protoss is going to be forced to retreat. Obviously, 1 Zealot and a Probe cannot take on 3 Marines, soon to be 4. We'll see what he's actually going to have coming down the line for this. Warp Gate technology is currently being researched and not chrono boosted right now. Looks like he's actually chrono boosting out the gateway. Probably a good call at this point. But oh man, look at that probe actually coming in here. Going to try to scout. Will he make it up to the top of the ramp? He will. He'll see the 1 barracks. And look at all the SCVs trying to hide away from the probe until it was killed. And it looks like the Terran player is actually going to be sending all of his SCVs, except for a few left up here, hopefully to bust through the Protoss player's base. I'm sure that chrono boosted units for the Protoss player will come in handy here. Here comes, oh man, I got to make sure I get the name right. MICROORGANISMs, yes, coming down here with the Stalker. He should actually be able to spot this coming in just a second. Oh, but it is not the right place for him to be. He is being chased like nobody's business. This game is about to get quite intense, folks. 3 additional gateways going down. Oh, but the SCVs are blocked. Look at that. Terran player cannot get to the ramp. The Stalkers are going to be able to have some free shots at the Marines. It looks like he actually busted his way through the gateway and is now in the Protoss base. Will he be able to finish this game early? No, I'm not sure. The Protoss actually able to pull out the probes off the line and is surrounding the Marines. That's a very, very solid idea right there, folks. Those Marines not able to micro around. It's really limiting their movement. That's going to help a ton with the probes actually getting in there and doing a lot of damage, kind of freeing up the Stalkers to do damage to the Marines and get some of those SCVs out of the way as well. We can actually see the worker count right now, 13 to 16. And as a result of this, 850 resources lost for the Protoss, 950 for the Terran. So we'll see if he's actually going to be able to recover from that. That definitely was a pretty hefty economic hit. But keep in mind, he did a lot of damage himself with those SCVs and the probes, and we can see he is definitely going to be sitting in a defensive position for a while, as the few remaining SCVs will be returning to the base, hoping to start mining again, even bringing that second barracks back. Again, I think that's a really good idea, as the Protoss is looking to counterattack. Marine going down right there. 4 Stalkers on the move. I think we have another one on the way, as well as a random animal that just decided to hang out here with us on Backwater Gulch today. There's that proxy forward position. Terran is going to scout that out. There is a nice wall off here, though, so it's going to be very difficult for the Protoss to actually come and bust this up. I mean, really, if he wanted to, he could rotate the Stalkers, gain vision, take out the depot, but he would still take a lot of damage right there, and SCVs could just as easily come and repair that. You see he's actually throwing down the second bunker to get some coverage for this low ground right here. All right, you can see, yep, he spots the Stalker right there. He's keeping I like how he's keeping the SCVs over here.
SCV ready.
Knows an attack could come at any second. Of course, Protoss not quite comfortable moving up just yet. I do like how he's bringing in a couple sentries. Force field, able to block off the bunkers from being repaired. Guardian shield, going to bring that Marine damage a good amount. But with 2 bunkers in play and some extra Marines. Oh, pylon going down just in range of that bunker. I wish when you clicked in the bunker as an observer, you could actually see the little circle like you can with the siege tanks. Just for demonstration purposes. But that's alright, that's alright. Now, I'm not sure if he's actually going to follow up with this counterattack. He is keeping the Terran player in the base, which, I mean, obviously limiting his ability to expand, but he does have a command center here, good to go, already morphing it into an orbital command. Protoss does not have his own expansion, but you see the money did just dip down, taking his natural right there. So this active containment is actually going to afford him a little bit of an advantage. You see also that he's not... Okay, there we go. I was going to say he's not saturating his mineral line with SCVs with that second command center, but it looks like he is. Of course, one of the nice things about that, having that second command center in the base, he can get that thing to work, get some extra SCVs, and transfer them down when he actually goes and takes his natural expansion. Here we go, folks. Looks like we're actually going to have, just kidding, a psych-out invasion. Yeah, I think he's perfectly happy with containment, and honestly, I think that's a good move at this point. I mean, what does he stand to lose from doing this? I mean, really nothing. Those units would be doing nothing anyways down here at the bottom of the map. Terran is obviously trying to recover economically, and you see he's building up his own infrastructure right now. Finally, maybe move out. Yeah, it looks like there we go. All right, he is moving in. Guardian shield has been hit, so we know this is serious. 2 Stalkers going down already. The first bunker has gone down. Look at that. Late SCVs to the party, but they definitely looking to hold this bunker, which is funny because it's mostly surrounded by structures anyways, so not a lot of repairing could actually be done. 1 force field right there could just block all those off. Still, there's the issue of the fact that there's a decent number of Marauders on the field now. You know, 3 of these up here combined with the Marines can snipe off those sentries right quick. You actually have a lot of energy. You see, you can do about 6 or so force fields. A couple Guardian shield as well. So what do we have here, folks? We have the first drop of the game. Hopefully one of many, as, like I said, this looked like a very long game. And this map, I do like this map because it puts players very tightly packed, it feels like. You never really feel like you have a safe expansion here. Always feel like there's just somebody going to be breathing down your neck. Partially because these cliffs that overlook the expansions, barely enough room to place them. Yeah, it looks like there actually might be a little bit more there, but I don't know. A drop actually spotted those Protoss forces, reacted very quickly. Now we're seeing Terran coming down here, forcing the Protoss to bring those units back, and now able to bust out and possibly take his own natural expansion. Still has that command center hanging down there. Of course, the Protoss player does have an observer. He knows what's going on here at the top of the ramp, and he's probably not going to be looking to reinforce that again. If he does decide to maybe harass again, maybe he'll want to come over and take out these rocks, I don't know. Again, the threat of that dropship running around, that is enough to keep the Protoss down in his base. Looking at the economy right now, we can see 42 to 33, so the Protoss definitely taking advantage of the fact that he was able to get his expansion up before his opponent. Look at that income right now, folks. Look at that income. Of course, that's largely due to the fact those SCVs were in the process of transferring over, but we'll still give that a second and wait and see how his economy is going to adjust with that 10 harvester deficit. he is also going to be going for those 2 additional geysers. And of course, that dropship, I keep waiting for it, waiting to see if it's going to go down there, but no, it looks like it's not just yet. Ooh, taking that expansion down here, folks. It's actually probably a good thing to do at this point in time. The game hasn't really expanded out to the corners of the map, right here and right here. You'll probably see that later on at some point. But yeah, it's actually something you'll see a lot of kind of mid players do in case they're playing somebody who may be better than them, but maybe not necessarily be... Well, I guess I'm trying to say it's a little bit unorthodox. Players don't usually end up scouting over here all the time. Now, some players do. Some players are great with scouting, but some players kind of let these side expansions go for a while until they move later on in the game when they kind of expect there to be an expansion there. Will the pylon actually go down? Do not think so. You see the Colossus is there. Does not have the range upgrade just yet until... Oh, get it. 3 seconds. Don't look like a total idiot. Alright, there we go. 9. Yes, indeed. That is actually crucial when dealing with those Marauders. Watched a game or two from the Champions Trophy tournament where not having that upgrade was just the nail in the coffin against a Terran who went heavy Marauder there in the early game. We'll see actually how this attack goes here. I'm not too convinced that it's going to go so well. Between the bunkers, the Marauder army here, a couple medevacs as well. I don't know. We'll see. He does have the pylon near here, so he's able to warp in forward position. Just hanging out at the top little ledge right here. It's actually a really good spot for that too. But you see, Terran, he's got the Vikings, he's got the medevacs. He doesn't have any weapons upgrades just yet, but he is working on infantry level 1 right now. And with 3 more Vikings on the way, 3 Colossi, you know, he could just come out here right now, even if he wanted to just scout around a little bit. He could kind of drive off one of the Colossi by shooting it and kind of say, you know what, man, I'm not sure if you want to attack at this point. But look at this. Protoss is going to try to force the engagement, gets a bunker to about 40% health, and then backs off. I mean, really, like I said, I don't blame him. More importantly, there is a drop down here taking place in the natural expansion for the Protoss. He will be losing the Stalker, it looks like, and kiting around the Zealots. There's that concussive shells upgrade showing its stuff right now. I do like how the Terran stopped for just a second right here. That was a very smart move to let that front Marauder absorb that Zealot hit before moving again. Got in plenty of extra damage. And now the Protoss, you see his army is forced to continue coming back down here as a ton of his probes are forced to retreat. Now here they come, realizing it's going to be safe now. The Stalkers have arrived, followed by the Colossi. And thank God for no friendly fire on the probes. Looking at the results of that attack right now, you can see Protoss has definitely lost a lot more in the way of resources, 3625 to 1900. Income as a result of that attack, you see Protoss is currently about 200 or so, averaging beneath his opponent, despite that 50, despite the fact that both of them have 50 harvesters. 56 now. So we'll see actually how this is going to continue on. I do like that he is going to actually go ahead and get some Immortals and Psystorm. Ooh, that will indeed be very sexy. Of course, the presence of the Vikings going to make it very difficult to use a Colossi to their fullest extent. I mean, he would just be able to fly down there, pop them off right off the bat, and that would be that. But when you've got Immortals, they do extra damage against armored units. You've got Psystorm, get rid of bunches of units, especially Marines, which you see plenty of Marines in this army right now. Also plenty of Marauders. So it's a pretty traditional Bioball, actually. We'll see. Well, the key thing about these Immortals is they actually can become the targets of focus fire very quickly, and they can be dropped very fast by teams of Marines. So we'll see if we're going to have another engagement here. There's the scouting. No ghosts in this army. But you see Protoss actually had his forces a little spread out, so it still would take a couple EMPs. Sacrificial Zealot. Alright, there we go. Could mean an engagement. Oh, he's going to pull off. Protoss waiting for those Archons. They're actually going to take a lot of focus fire there right off the bat. Look at those force fields capturing a couple Marauders. The large bit of the Terran army actually able to escape from that attack. Not going to be happening this time, though. Look at those force fields right there. Terran is locked into this engagement as more units are being worked in, bringing in a bunch of zealots, which are obviously very strong against the units that were currently being employed here. What's left of a Marine Marauder medevac army is now very Marauder heavy. So the Protoss hoping to take advantage of that, bringing in some more zealots. And Terran has just enough to continue to push forward, going to take out a couple pylons, which you see is not going to be that huge of a loss in terms of supply. He's still way under cap right now, but what is he going to do about these Marines and Marauders now running and taking out his infrastructure? Gateway losing its shields. There we go, bringing in some more zealots, going to be able to drive those Marauders off. Nice micromanagement from both players. Nice stutter attacking. Very well played. Units lost now. We could see that definitely kicked it into high gear, folks. Look at that. Both players, 5 digits, 12,525 to 10,850. So Protoss might actually go ahead and take this expansion down here. He is saving up his money right now. Probe heading over that way. Whereas Terran is taking this one down here and really not even worrying about this one, which I think is kind of an interesting choice. But maybe he wants to take these high-risk nodes and drain those before worrying about these. I mean, that is something that you'll see players do sometimes. Especially if you have a game go really far into the late game. You know, it's a lot easier to defend an expansion if it's right outside your base than if it's way out here. You don't want to be having a battle between the two players fighting over the last resources way off in the corner. Much rather those resources be at your front door. So he has replenished some of his army here as Psystorm is just about complete. 4 ghosts are on the way right now as well. Ooh. The army is going to be kind of walking out single file. Fortunately for the Protoss, Terran is nowhere near it at the moment, so it's not going to be a huge deal. But you see, he is patrolling around, just kind of keeping an eye on things, making sure he's able to respond to any sort of incursions very quickly. Looks like we have just one zealot over here working on taking out SCVs. He was just kind of running around scouting, ended up in the mineral line. Not going to be that huge of a deal. A couple SCVs did, that's about it. But look at this, folks. Nice scan. Very nice right there. The Ghost meeting up with the Marines and Marauders. Be able to deal with that no problem. Probably just forgot he sent that probe to build that pylon there. I'm sure he knew. No, he's still trying to build it. I guess Terran isn't just isn't going to head down. Okay, there's the cancellation. Probably just wasn't feeling the threat from the Terran player here. Alright, so you can see Protoss' third base is looking good, getting saturated there, as the armies are still shifting around the map, getting dangerously close to one another. We could see a repeat of the previous battle. Once again, that sacrificial zealot, but the Protoss actually sending his High Templar way far away, trying to keep them away from the EMPs. Giving the Terran the high ground, actually. Uh-oh. We'll see how this works, folks. I don't know if that's going to end up too well for him. Look at the blanket EMPs on top of the High Templar. And here comes the Colossus to finish it off. Yep, that was actually very nicely handled by the Protoss player. Bringing in those Archons, of course, they do extra damage to biological units. And with the range upgrade, seeing that kind of coming into play there. As Terran's looking to go back on the offensive once again, having to retreat just to gather enough forces to make another push here. Taking out 2 Archons. Those were very low in shield, so I'm not surprised that he took those out. The Zealots are actually going to be the most dangerous thing here in the front, as the Marauders not great in number. Plus the threat of the Colossus, if they stop for too long, then they're just going to get roasted. Alright, Protoss expanding again. Let's see, he's looking good on the gas. Let's take a quick look at the income, folks. We could see 1,600 to 1,400. Terran is definitely sitting in a great position with the gas right now. See, he's actually transferring a bunch of SCVs as well as another mule party down here. We've always got to have a mule party if the game is going to be more than 30 minutes long. That's just how it goes here on Anaris Starcraft. So we'll wait and see what's going to be happening next. But in the meantime, it looks like the players are both just going to be working on their infrastructure, their economy, kind of getting their armies up. Nothing too serious. We do have the Zealot actually taking out the SCV right there. So that is that's going to work in the Protoss' favor. Keeping the bulk of his forces over near his base, that he doesn't want to have to worry about a retaliatory strike. But if you look at the army comparison right now, 124 to 148. That's funny, the same exact gas right now invested into it. Okay, there we go. Alright, 2 drop ships going to be presumably dropping right here. Alright, looks like they're just going to take the high ground. Maybe catch some of these probes. Oh, so very close to catching the probe train. But with these zealots warping in, I'm wondering how this is, has this seriously not been found yet? Wow, okay. Now he's going to charge in and probably go for some of these probes here. It looks like, sure enough, that's exactly what he's doing. Oh, free High Templar kill right there. Just not paying attention to that last High Templar. And all the probes are going down. Look at how fast they're going down. And there's the nice pickup. We'll see how much damage he's actually able to do once he comes down here. You can see the Protoss is in pursuit. The army is actually staying over here, though. It's kind of an interesting choice. I think, yeah, he doesn't have any pylons over here to warp in. He did send a few zealots, though. I mean, really, that's all he needs to send. That's the kind of thing he can go. He was worried more about a retaliatory strike over here with this expansion. We are seeing that EMP's blanketing the Protoss army, knocking out all of the shields of the Archon right here, and the High Templar. No energy. They can't storm. That is something that he really needs right now. This giant ball just wrecking his army. Having to use all those Templar, just turn them immediately into Archons, and all the while we have an expansion attack coming down here. The Colossus actually will be going down. What a hit, folks. What a hit indeed. Terran continued to make progress in the middle of the map, as well as the significant gains that he made here at this expansion. We can actually look here and see the Terran player 1,500 to 580, 69 to 50 in the Harvester count. So it has been a very aggressive last couple minutes for the Terran player. You can see he's dropping in the main now. Will he actually be able to take out the Cybernetics core? I don't know. He is currently boosting out that Colossus. But more probes are going to be going down here. And the Terran player just using mobility to his advantage. He's got all of these dropships right now. I mean, why not? And the Cybernetics core is going to be down. No more Stalkers for this Protoss player right now, folks, as the Marauders are indeed taking some very heavy hits, and the Protoss continues to try to drive away the Terran player of the harassment up here in the top. It looks like the 2 medevacs will actually make their escape. No infantry inside of them, but I think they definitely did some damage. Definitely enough to pay for themselves there. We can look at the units lost, and look at how close they are right now. So very close. It's like Protoss can come up there and he can win any battle, but he just can't be outmaneuvered by his opponent. And that's really one of the reasons the Terran player is staying in the game as well as he is. I mean, he does have plenty of expansions right now. He does have this whole right side. As he's now taken, I guess you'd call it his proximity third, but not his third base overall. Moving in once again and see very Archon every build. And Psystorm on top of all the infantry. Again, look at all the storms. Marauders taking so many hits there. Even the Vikings are very close to death. Doesn't look like we have any drops taking place in the meantime, so this is pretty much all that there is. Marauders stimming, using up the very last bit of their health to get away and meet up with their buds. Expansion's going to be kind of under attack here. Will it be enough for no Psystorm? The Marauders are decently spread out. Looks like that Templar will actually be sacrificed as the Archon's coming in from the rear here, and the Colossus doing extra splash damage to that line of Marauders. Perfectly lined up for that angle of fire. So now Terran's going to have to drop back a little bit. You can see 94 to 108. Neither one of these players can really get up a beefy army here. They're being kept down by one another. It's really exciting match so far. Just back and forth here in the middle of the map on Backwater Gulch. And wow, 2 command centers actually being built over here. Huh, well, you know, he could be building them to lift offload them to maybe to both the high yields. He could also be building some planetary fortresses. This would be a great spot for it, actually. Give him a fallback position that covers right here, and obviously these 2 will cover the ramp. See, this expansion is starting to look a little bit better. We got 2 dropships coming over here, each one about half loaded. We'll see how that actually ends up. Protoss does know that expansion is there, but with the planetary fortress present, it's going to make it a little difficult to do any sort of light harassment. Oh, feedback on the medevac. Check that out, folks. A couple zealots being warped in. Shouldn't have too many difficulties combined with the Colossus here. Yep, there we go. There's the liftoff. There's more probes actually transferring over. You see, Protoss is just in super heavy defensive mode right now. And frankly, I don't blame him. Terran is the one spending all of the money on the aggression. And so far, the Protoss has kind of hasn't quite responded quick enough to some of these attacks. And he's suffered some pretty hefty losses as a result. Nuclear missile is being built, folks. I cannot wait to see where this thing lands, if it lands. A lot of games you'll see just kind of hoisted up and packed in the rear, but I don't know. We might see it this game. We can always hope. Will this expansion go down? It's actually funny looking at this one gas is mined out, and look at this one, 44 gas left. So very close. The Nexus is going to go down with 32 gas left in this extractor, as the Zealot is going to be going down, I guess. All right, well, maybe he thinks there's I don't know, burrowed unit, something like that. Ghost, perhaps. Probably a misclick. Don't want to look too much into it. Have seen that used before a couple times in matches. Alright, so yeah, let's check out what we got up here. We have 4 ghosts actually getting ready to possibly, I don't want to say he's going to engage, but maybe try to infiltrate. There's a lot of scanning here, though. He could blanket that with some EMP followed up with a strong attack. See, there's a stem. Here come the ghosts right now. Protoss does not have any detection. He's actually, looks like, trying to keep, yes, there we go. Trying to keep the Terran player from EMPing the High Templar. The High Templar were able to escape and sidestorm the infantry. Looks like actually the Zealots absorbed more of that than the Marauders took damage from it. It's all right though. We'll see how this continues to progress here as we do go past the 37-minute mark. Couple ghosts actually just taking some pot shots. So very close to the observer. Look at these guys, man. These like the ballsiest ghosts on the planet. Right up until they died a horrible death. Thought I heard an EMP there for a second. Oh, wow, another EMP landing on top of all the Zealots. Those could actually go down pretty quick, but you see, it's still a very Marauder-heavy build, and what the Terran player is trying to do is drag the Protoss back to engage on top of the planetary fortress. And at this point, folks, we can just look at the income and see how this is progressing as they're going back and forth. No more Psystorms right now. It looks like I do not see any High Templar. We can just look at the units and see that we have another, or we still have that nuke in play there. One High Templar. Not exactly sure what that one is, but okay, yeah, there it is right there. So now it's going to be west versus east and top center. As Protoss moves out once again. Nice. Nice indeed. Taking out the rest of those forces. Getting caught a little bit out of position. It looks like he was a little slow in bringing those back. But there's another EMP going to force him to retreat there. This dropship still just kind of hanging out here, keeping these 5 Zealots in line. You sneaky dropship. Got a ghost coming over here. Looks like. All right, we'll keep an eye on him. See what he's going to do. Looks like he's going to go and maybe harass that expansion. You see, this one's just starting to get up as well here. Whoa! Okay, is that ghost right there? Yes, it looks like it is. It's going to be nuking the mineral line. Let's see if he's actually going to pull it off, though. I don't know if the Protoss player knows where it's at. He could even storm this if he wanted to. I think the nuke's going to go off, and probes are dead! Probes are dead. That's all I have to say about that. Very exciting. Very dead probes. Ghost took what was coming to him, but I mean, hey man, it was worth it. Definitely paid for itself there. Going to be hurting the economy. We can actually take a look at the next engagement. Another storm blanketing the Marauders. Colossi coming in from the southern portion of the map. Protoss very much on the offensive here. Even with all the ghosts, they don't have any energy to do any more EMPs here in the back. You see Terran is forced to retreat to his next wave of Marauders here at the planetary fortress. Protoss actually able to get his economy going once again. While this is going on, you see the high-sec auto-tracking upgrade is going to be complete soon. That'll actually increase the planetary fortress range from 6 to 7. That'll help out a little bit with the technique he's been trying to use. Of course, those ghosts are going to be going down very quickly. Probably just doesn't care about them at this point. As he is sitting on, he's sitting around 1,300 minerals, 1,100 gas. Neither player is above 150 supply right now, and we could have another drop coming down here to this expansion. Protoss is ready for it, though. There's the blink. There's the second blink, catching one dropship full of the contents, now quite dead. Other 2 dropships are actually really low on health. Another drop coming over here in the northwest. Looks like he actually will have possibly free reign of this base. Should be able to take this Nexus down. Maybe even load up into the Medivacs once he's done. Yes, indeed, Nexus is dead, and here's the Protoss player actually looking to take this expansion, but I mean, frankly, it's not worth it. There's nothing there. There's no income, there's no gas, no nothing. And what did he lose? He lost this Nexus down here. We have a dropship coming into the Protoss main. And now, Protoss Army, meanwhile, down here, working on taking out this expansion, which is just about mined out as well. Still has plenty of gas, though. And Terran actually able to take out the units that are warping in as they are warping in. So not going to be facing any serious resistance until just now taking out the Forge and the Twilight Cancel after taking out the Cybernetics Core in the beginning of the game. The man knows what he's doing, folks. Sniping off those key structures. Wow. Well, we're now approaching about 42 minutes or so. Could have another drop coming in here. Always keeping an eye on. We got 1 or 2 units kind of floating over the terrain by themselves, heading over towards the northern portion of the map, just out of range of the Zealots. Let's see, he should actually spot maybe that Zealot right there. It should show a little blue dot. Not moving on it. Wouldn't be able to do a whole lot. You see, he is bringing over the forces right here, though. So that's going to be going down very quick. Looks like he's actually working on... Okay, there we go. The assimilator? Alright, well, whatever. That's fine. It looks like he's actually just firing at anything at this point. He could try to force the cancellation of this expansion again, but no. He's going to end up losing his forces. Looking down here, we have another engagement. Zealot's trying to get a good surround on the Marauders. However, Terran player, nice, using the terrain to his advantage, not allowing the Zealots to get a complete surround. He's going to be actually trying to pursue this expansion down here. More Zealots have warped in, though, and is going to force the Terran player back. But look at that, warping the Zealots in the middle of the army as the Protoss is forcing the Terran player away from the high-yield expansion. You see, this expansion is still sitting pretty good, not too affected. Protoss player is being forced to long-distance mine, and now, there we go, that Nexus is complete. So at this point here, we could see the economy for both players. It's starting to dwindle a little bit here. We see 48 to 66. Protoss definitely has an economic advantage, especially with the gas. Look at that right now. He's got almost a 400-500 gap between him and his opponent. Oh, wow, the Terran player is just looking to long-distance mine from the Protoss base. Just trying to take that high yield just a second. Oh, another EMP landing on top of almost all of the Archons, knocking out their effectiveness significantly. Not very effective when you only last for 2 seconds in a fight. Sure enough, there we go, dying in a cloud of cloudiness. There we go. You can see that the Protoss player, not one to lose this expansion, brought in a few Zealots, just make sure there's not going to be light harassment here. And a storm blanketing the Marauders, look at that. Oh, they're all so very low on health. Here comes some fresh reinforcements over from the east. Might actually be able to take out this expansion. Look at the army supply right now. We can see definitely in the favor of the Terran. Much greater size of the army, but look at the worker count, 28 to 56. Watch this expansion go down. Check out the units lost. Both players are over 50,000. Both almost over 55,000. And we have another nuke here. Oh, looks like it's going to be actually at the ramp. This is a very smart move right here, anticipating a counterattack from the Protoss player. But you see, the Protoss actually knew there wasn't going to be a lot left to save by the time he got there, so that nuke actually didn't look like it went off. The expansion is now complete, however. We can see that, man, we've had a lot of stuff going on here in this game. Command Center, I like how it's still floating over the Nexus. Just like, yo, sup? If nothing else, I'll block you for... I'll block a third of your Nexus. Oh, God, don't kill me! Don't kill me! Terran over here looks like he's going to try to finish off this expansion. Does have a decent bit of minerals left in it, so I'd say that's a good thing to grab. Also, another nuke is being built. You look at the Vikings, though. He's got 11 Vikings floating around right now, and he's actually choosing to let the Ghosts and the Marauders go on the land, even though he still has room with the dropship. Wonder what he's going to have in store for these. Well, I'll tell you what he has in store for the Ghosts, and that is an instant death. That command center should actually be going down. EMP landing on top of all of the Protoss forces just before dying. Alright, now here comes the drop in the main. Plenty of Zealots have been warped in. Will it be enough, though? We see another frontal attack coming as well, so these Zealots will be temporarily diverted to block off the ramp and try to cut off these reinforcements from the main army. Which you see another attack coming down here. Psystorm on top of all the Marauders. Look at the blanket storm on the Marauders right there, folks. the Zealots coming up here now. Yeah, it looks like we could have another storm right here. This would be a good place to put that. Oh, mass feedback on the medevacs. Another blink or two to be able to pop on him. Yes, it looks like he's going to take off several more of those medevacs. One or two of those may live. Oh, with that one Vikey. Oh, almost got out. Very last second. Very last second takedown. See, the production tab is next to nothing for both players. Bunch of Marauders, that's about it as the Terran player. Running on about 700 minerals. That's because this expansion right here, nice and, well, not close to his base, but it's going to be a lot easier to defend than, say, this one right here, or even this high yield, which has another mule party at it. 7 mules right now, but look at this, an Archon coming up here immediately after the mules were dropped. This is going to be potentially a huge loss of energy right there, and income for the Terran player, who is trying to trade bases possibly with the Protoss, taking out the Nexus, focus firing it down, leaving the entire army to get us around. Oh, and he makes his escape! Running back towards the planetary fortress. Will he make it to safety? It looks like he does, but the command center over here almost into the red. We see no more mules are present, so the income now is back down to what it was a minute ago, 35 to 30 for the harvester count, and now both players are over 60k resources lost. Looking over here, you can see about 800, 1100 there. All right. So it looks like this one's going to be probably mined out a little bit before his opponent, rather. I like how these SCVs are still long distance gassing from over there. I mean, hey, why not? If you got nothing better to do with them, might as well. Just put them to work. He's going to have to repair. Oh, looks like Mule got in the way, as Protoss may be looking to move out again. Of course, Terran, floating command center up there, hoping to take the northwest corner. Maybe the Protoss won't check it out for a minute or two. Might be what he's kind of banking on. But overall, I think this has been a very exciting match. Definitely worth the watch so far, as we just passed the 50-minute mark. Coming close to an hour. These games are rather rare, but when you find them, man, you just gotta watch them. So he's got a decent bit of High Templar right now, and we're seeing Terran just kind of playing rather conservatively. Okay, Protoss sitting in a couple Templar, or not Templar, but Stalkers. Like I said, both players are playing rather conservatively at this point. I think they realize the position they're in economy-wise, and that is, you really don't want to be throwing away an army at this point, because it's going to be a lot harder to reproduce it than it would have been, say, 20, 30 minutes ago. Now let's see, where is that shot? Okay, there it is, right up there in the north. Looks like the Marauders are trying to get a couple free shots on the Zealots. Should be okay though. Looking at the upgrades, you can see 103 for the Protoss. Should be 3-3. Yep, 3-3 for the Terran. Another EMP landing on top of the Protoss player just before feedback on the Ghost. I think the feedback was followed up by a face smash there. Of course, a few SCVs actually sneaking in. Oh, looks like it's not going to be sneaking in after all. Probe is going to come up there, scout out that expansion, sees what's going on. Oh, you sneaky Terran, you. Looks like you are going to draw the anger of the mighty Protoss. Although you see, he hasn't really tried to do any serious mining from this expansion yet. Command center might be going down. Nope. Terran knows he's in a little bit of a predicament right now. Just a tiny bit of one. I mean, it still could go either way, but looking at the army right now, you can see 147 to 143. The income, as we go forward, 34 to 41 in the harvester count. Terran is still down on the gas, though. I mean, really, he's just doing pretty much mass Marauder at this point. And, ooh, this drop could actually turn the tables a little bit. If maybe the Terran player decides to do another attack over here, force a hand at the natural or at the high yield expansion, and do what could be a drop over here. But what is this? Did he actually spot it? I think he did. I think he spotted the drop ships. I don't know. He is going to be dropping those things near the base. Not at it though, as he's probably going to be wanting to heal up, as we just saw a second or two ago. Alright, so we see that that expansion there. Did have to float off. Here comes the Protoss player. Oh, another blanket EMP on top of the army. Did not hit the High Templar. You can see they're running there in the back. This poor Ghost, like 1 hit point left. Terran doing a great job here, taking the high ground. Looking over here, we do have another attack at the high yield expansion. Not going to be too strong though. Looks like that went down actually rather quickly. Another attack attempted right here. Again, not happening as the Terran player losing his army again. This is going to be a substantial loss right there, folks. Look at this. Look at the food count now. 67, 69 to 135. He's trying to do drops in multiple places, trying to split up the Protoss army. The thing is, the Protoss, I mean, he is splitting it up. He's just, oh man. You look at it, I mean, 148 to 69. Need I say more? There's really just not a whole lot that the Terran player can do at this point. And look at how the Archon's running around, man. Love me some Archons. The Mules having to retreat once again. The command center being forced off there. This one SCV in defiance of all tyranny and everything else that is whatever he stands against. I don't really know. I'm not really aware of their ideologies of an SCV. But for now, a little bit of a lighter note, 168 to 75. Looking at the Terran economy, you can see he's sitting on a decent bit of money right now. I mean, he does have this command center kinda close to the high yield expansion. Oh, maybe going in for another kill. Oh, not gonna be a kill for the Terran. Marauders, very close to dying, running back to the planetary fortress. Relative safety there. But we see there goes the Mules. That's actually going to cut back on the economy a good bit. And I just saw a Stargate being built. Oh, wouldn't that be fun to see some Void Rays out here? Maybe even a carrier or a mothership? Oh, we would be so lucky if we could be so lucky. I do like how he is building on the front line, though. Actually, a Void Ray would be very damaging at this point. Planetary Fortress, up until now, has played a large part of the Terran defense over here. And, uh-oh. Here we go. Looks like could have another attack over in the western portion of the map. Terran hanging out over here and also attacking. Nice cutting. See SCV absorbing some of those hits. There's the Protoss response, though. Colossus doing plenty of damage, of course. 3 upgrades on that. Does 21 damage, 42 with both lasers. See that right there. And a Storm landing on top of the Marauders. Terran is really going to make something work here, folks. 189 to 69. This could be it. I really don't want to call it too early, but I mean, really, what is too early at this point when you've got 195 to 76? Terran is hanging on for dear life. He is what amounts to a small hit-and-run team with a couple medevacs for support. A pretty defensive area here. Couple planetary fortresses. Protoss will suffer some casualties heading into this, but I mean, he might as well just go in for the kill at this point. I mean, looking at what he's got, the army size comparison, you can just look at that right there, folks. There you go. Planetary Fortress going to be going down. Not a damn thing the Terran can do about it. Although he's still sitting on like 1,300 minerals and 200 gas. And you see, he has plenty of infrastructure left. Second Planetary Fortress going down, and Protoss now going to be cutting off the supply line between the high yield expansion and the command center defensive line here. All those SCVs going to be going down. We can just watch those tick down. 9 to 53, 8 to 53. Look at that comparison, folks. There is the lack of a GG from the blue player, as that's going to conclude this crazy game between Microorganism and Team Potato Crackers. I guess Team Microorganism, Team Potato Crackers here in Backwater Gulch. Thank you guys for tuning in. I do hope you enjoyed it. It was definitely an exciting match. We had nukes, we had EMPs, we had Psystorm, we had everything that makes a StarCraft 2 fan giddy. Alright, that's it. Stay tuned for the SK Gaming Champions Trophy Tournament matches. And yeah, that's all I got. Awesome.